and they just couldn't stop crying. The grandmother tree is fake, made up, and it's a tourist trap. Because Auntie Bev, whenever we went down there, she was our boss. Yeah. Every time we'd been out in country, we would always present information to Auntie Bev to validate it. And sometimes, so she's always been there as our guide all the way through. Now, where did we get the term grandmother tree? Who gave it to us? Auntie Bev. Auntie Bev. In fact, I'm going to tell you something. We were taken to the glyphs by the senior park ranger, John Gallard. And he'd been taken us, you're going to see a lot of sites he took us to. And at the finish there, he said, do you want to go to the glyphs? And we said, no. We knew about what was going on there. We thought the other stuff is great. But we don't want to touch the glyphs. It's tainted. Acid's been thrown on it. All sorts of things are supposed to have happened. And people have lied about it and told all different sorts of stories, which you'll hear about. We didn't want to go there. But because we had some time left over, we agreed, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we had a look at it and thought, yeah, okay, fine, right. And later on, we did a presentation with Hans Dieter von Sense, didn't we? And Nina arranged that, didn't she? Mm-hmm. We never spoke about the glyphs, did we? No. We spoke about all the stuff that was around it. We weren't going to touch it. In fact, we were never going to touch it until one day, and we're going to talk about that. We did an interview with David Fitzgerald and Auntie Bev. And Auntie Bev told us not only are the glyphs legitimate, but it's a form of writing that was done by original people before the Egyptians, and the Egyptians learned from us. Right, now we start fighting for the glyphs. Why? Because when we go on to country, we work with an elder. And up until Auntie Bev said that, we had nothing to work with. But once she said that, knowing who she is, and you're going to find out about that in some detail, we had no issue now, because when I was given ceremony, I was told to go on to country and do what the elders told me to do and work with them. If they know what they're talking about, do not question them. Write down, report, and don't change a word. And that's what we did. Don't respond to them, please, and start fighting, and we'll block them, okay? This is just rules for the house. If you do want to do this, remember something, ladies and gentlemen. You've got everyone on side, and you've got every avenue backing you up. False, fake, and it's rubbish. That's a lie. Nothing has happened there. It's a slightly dodgy site, and yeah, it's a bit steep in places, or maybe occasionally a rock falls down. Man, you just lock it all up. I'll lock it all up. Okay, next one, please, Evan. So I believe that is a straight out lie at that comment, but we've got to look at something else was said. Now, first of all, can we get to Barry Duncan's statement now?
Yep.
There it is.
Ducking on Lands Council chairperson Barry Duncan, the Lands Council site at Carrion was just part of just compensation for what happened to Aboriginal people since 1788. It's for us to decide what that land is being used for, he said. He added that the grandmother tree is a fictitious thing used for tourism.
Right, that calls Auntie Bev a liar, because here's the trick. When an elder looks after you and gives you information and gives you ceremony, you're obliged in every way to defend her. To call this a fictitious thing used for tourism, you're saying to me, Mr. Duncan, that Auntie Bev was the person who created this fictitious thing used for tourism. She's the one who called it the grandmother tree. She was the one at the very start who's standing by this and was protecting it. And when we first came onto country, we were told by everybody, if you go onto country, you go and see Auntie Bev first for permission, and you work with her. And we did. Right? That was the rule then. But apparently, according to this person, Auntie Bev made up this fictitious thing used for tourism. But you know what scares me just as much? It is for us to decide what the land is being used for. That's what Philip said when he came here. When they rammed the flag in and said, see this place here? We own it. And the IORA, with Pamela, we said, what? You own it? We've been here for hundreds of thousands of years, and you turned up today and you own it?
Barry Duncan, yeah, it looks like he's the Ducking on Lands Council chairperson.
Not now. That's changed, okay? I've heard since he's actually got a bigger job. He's making decisions for larger areas, okay? Right, but when he said that, he has been that person. It is drawing in cult activity. cults are turning up there and doing culty things.
Oh, culty things.
Oh, God, yeah.
So I wonder if there's some sort of cult register. So when you walk
Well, there
in,
would
you
be.
could kind of say, hi, I'm from this cult.
It has to be, because how would he know
Yeah.
who these people were unless they signed on as a cult? And which cults were they? How many have been there? I can tell you now. Yes, it's on TripAdvisor for cults. Yeah. And there's a special altar for the cults when they get there to do their cult things. How would you know that? How would you know that? Where is the proof? Where is the empirical proof? Because everyone's asking for proof, and we're going to give it. The answer is you wouldn't. But here's what scares me. We were directed there by Klaus Dörner, who actually did a form of technology that we don't fully understand. And he claims that the Carry-on Gosford area was once an ancient, massive city. The Sydney Uni said, this is not a UFO, this is a whale. Now, we think this is the mothership. Now, remember, and a lot of people, and Nina knows this, and I'm sure Arnie Colleen knows this, around the 1990s, hundreds upon hundreds of people saw at Bambara, which is only about 2 kilometres from the glyphs, UFOs with 5 legs sucking up water.
Yeah, there's I think there's there was a news report on it.
Yeah.
I've seen it somewhere.
Oh, Nina's seen it too. And look, magistrates, police, they all saw it. They all saw exactly that. And by the way, this UFO engraving is right next to the water, right next to it. It's got 5 legs. I think it's a 2-level spaceship, and we've mapped that. But according to the experts, it's a whale.
Or as Arnie Bev would call them, people carriers.
That's what she calls them. Yeah, she calls them people carriers. You've got to remember, Arnie Bev got her information from the elders, and that's why they're hats, and that's why they're people carriers. Flying people carriers. I know what we call them. We either call them planes or we call them UFOs, and that ain't a plane.